Greetings and welcome to the Virginia Hospital and Healthcare Association's Patients Come First podcast series. Podcast episodes are available on VHHA.com and on popular podcast hosting apps including Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Pandora, and many others. Episodes of the podcast also air each Saturday at noon and Sunday at 10 a.m. on 100.5 FM, 92.7 FM, and 820 a.m. across Central Virginia. Please send any questions, comments, or feedback to pcfpodcast@vhha.com. Again, that is pcfpodcast@vhha.com. And since 2021 is an election year in Virginia, we're doing a special podcast spin-off series. We've invited every declared statewide candidate for the offices of governor, lieutenant governor, and attorney general to participate and speak with healthcare voters about their campaign and ideas. Today, we're pleased to be joined by Xavier Warren, a Democratic candidate for lieutenant governor of Virginia. Xavier is a Danville native, a successful small business owner who has worked as a pro sports agent, has worked to secure funding for hospitals, for schools, for local governments, and other nonprofits. And with that brief introduction, welcome to the program, Xavier.
Hey, Julianne, and hello, Virginia Hospital Healthcare Association. I'm glad to be here.
Well, we appreciate you making a few minutes to be with us during a busy campaign season. And so to begin with, Xavier, I just gave a brief biographical narrative about you, but I'm sure that just scratches the surface. So I'd like you to have the opportunity to say anything more about your background or qualifications, and also to make your pitch for why you consider yourself the best candidate among the contenders for the Democratic nomination for lieutenant governor.
Yes. Well, first start off my background. I was born and raised in Danville, Pennsylvania County. And I watched so many people leave due to lack of financial opportunity. And I did as well. I went to one of our historically black colleges, Hampton University undergrad for my bachelor's, and furthered my education and earned a master's degree from Georgetown University, where I currently reside in Arlington County as a small business owner and entrepreneur. After achieving my childhood dream of becoming an NFL sports agent, I also remember the folks that couldn't be able to reach their dreams. And I thought about that a lot of people are unable to get good healthcare, insurance, or educational housing because they didn't have the financial means. So as an entrepreneur, I wanted to do something about it, and I did. And I created a very successful federal grants business that has secured millions of dollars for hospitals and also other nonprofits to be able to help folks in need. And what makes me ideal for lieutenant governor is that right now, 50% of our rural hospitals are on the brink of closing. People have lost their insurances, people are hurting out health-wise, and are finding less and less ability to be able to get quality access to healthcare, and this is across the Commonwealth. I'm someone who actually has the experience of working with members of Congress and also HHS, HRSA, SAMHSA, and other healthcare organizations and agencies to secure millions of dollars to be able to support with telehealth, connected care, and also to support physicians, nurses, and other support staff with training so we can better make Virginia a healthier Commonwealth for all.
Hi, I'm Julie Dime, VHHA Vice President of Government Advocacy. They say there's an election every year in Virginia, and 2021 is no exception. In November, voters will choose Virginia's next governor, lieutenant governor, attorney general, as well as district representatives for all 100 seats in the House of Delegates. Before that, though, there are party nominating contests this spring. On May 8th, Republicans will hold an unassembled convention with voting locations across the state to elect nominees for 3 statewide offices. Participating in the process requires people to apply to be a convention delegate with their local GOP unit. Delegates will cast ranked choice ballots to determine the nominees. 1 month later, on June 8th, voters will select Democratic nominees for statewide offices in a primary election open to all registered voters. That same day, voters from both parties will determine nominees in the House of Delegates district races with intra-party contests. Visit the Virginia Department of Elections website to learn more about upcoming elections. And with those important elections on the calendar, your contribution to HOSPAC, VHHA's Political Action Committee, is more important than ever to support candidates who will work to improve health care in Virginia and support the critical work of hospitals and health systems. Any contribution, small or large, helps. Please visit vahospac.com to contribute. That's vahospac.com to contribute. Thanks so much.
And you hit several topics, including telehealth, including some of the financial challenges that rural providers face. And so that's a great segue to the next question, which, as you know, Xavier, the Commonwealth has made great strides on improving healthcare access and affordability in recent years. That includes through the 2018 passage of Medicaid expansion, with the support of the hospital community, a law ending surprise medical bills, the recent approval of a reinsurance program to lower rising health insurance premiums on Virginians, policies and actions to respond to the COVID-19 pandemic, and more. But obviously there's more work to be done. And so looking ahead, if you were elected Lieutenant Governor, how would you leverage the authority of that office to further advance the healthcare system in Virginia?
We made great strides, but we have to do more, and we have to continue to move forward. And so what we have to do, as you know, before COVID arrived, rural hospitals across the nation, even in Virginia, have been closing at an alarming rate. I mean, I'm sure you know about hospitals that close in the 757 region, and also rural hospitals have been hurting financially. COVID made it worse. Now, stated as in 50% of our hospitals, rural hospitals, are on the brink of closing right now. We need to get back to how we're going to support these hospitals and get access to people with quality health care. We need to focus on the financial side. A lot of dollars, millions of dollars in the federal government's $4.4 trillion budget allows for dollars to support primary care, behavioral health and mental health disorders, and also workforce training to support and make sure that we have a strong healthcare system. And so my duties and want to be able to help not only patients, but also physicians. I want to be able to get the funding and work with Congress to make sure that Virginia is a leader in the healthcare industry and make sure that we have a strong healthcare system for all.
Thank you for sharing your thoughts. Xavier, we've talked a little bit about your background, but if people want to learn more about you and your candidacy, is there a website or social media accounts where you direct them?
Yes, you can learn more about my campaign on Instagram and Twitter at Xavier for VA, so Xavier FOR VA, and also on Facebook at Xavier for Virginia. And you can visit website XavierForVirginia.com, and that's Xavier FOR Virginia spelled out.com.
Well, thank you for providing that information. And before we go, I want to close out the podcast with a fun personal question we ask all of our guests, Xavier, and that is this. If you were stranded on a deserted island, what one book, one album, and one movie would you take with you to keep yourself occupied? We will spot you a copy of the religious text of your choice. So other than that, what are your 3 entertainment survival kit picks?
Well, one, the book is the Bible, and also the movie will be Shawshank Redemption.
I hope I can make it across the border. I hope to see my friend and shake his hand. I hope the Pacific is as blue as it has been in my dreams. I hope.
And you said the book, movie, and what's the other one?
Album is the third.
Album, it has to be Bruno Mars, 24K.
Okay. Well, listen, I appreciate you taking a few minutes to be with us today during a busy campaign season and for sharing some of your thoughts about healthcare policy in the Commonwealth. And with that, that is going to bring us to the close of another episode of the Virginia Hospital and Healthcare Association's Patients Come First podcast. If you like what you heard, please make sure to leave us a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts and subscribe so that you know when new episodes are available. And we want to once again thank our guest, Xavier Warren, a Democratic candidate for Lieutenant Governor in Virginia, for joining us today. So thank you, sir.
Thank you.